Hey team, I'm Coach Jess. So today I was gonna do a high intensity thing and then just kind of listening to my body and I'm like, you know what, I don't really want to do anything high intense. I kind of want to just like move and stretch and balance. So that's what we're gonna do. You have 16 minutes for that. That 16 minutes is starting now. You're gonna plant your feet just kind of about hip distance apart. Now as women, we tend to think our hips are super wide. They're not. So just right under those things. I want you to ground through your feet. So feeling those heels connect to the ground, we're gonna take a deep breath in and out and in and out and in. Feeling that stretch through our arms and out. And last, deepest breath in. Arms stay up. You're just gonna reach from one side up through the other. So if you've been sitting at your desk, sitting in a car, lifting a baby, oh my goodness, all those things, I want you just to stretch and try to create some length. So it's kind of you're going reaching up, reaching down, reaching through those hips. Good, and deep breath out. From here, you're gonna hinge forward. So deep breath in, hinging forward. Bring your hands down to the floor. Yes, I can. If you need to go a little bit wider with your feet, that's fine. Bringing your hands down. Let your head fall here. Do the little check-in. Kind of rolling your head around. Yes, no, all the things. You're gonna walk your hands over to your right foot. Feeling that stretch a little bit deeper in that leg. Oh my goodness. Good, walk your hands over to that left foot. Good, holding that there for not too much longer. Back to the center, you're going to roll up so slowly. From here, we're gonna actually lay down, lay down, lay down. We're gonna stretch a little bit further, bending that one knee and bringing that other knee behind you. Just stretching this out here. Roll your ankles out here a little bit. Roll them back the other way, and then you're gonna switch up those legs. So rolling them around again, and rolling them around back there. Good. From here, you're coming over into quadruped position. So hips over knees, shoulders over wrists. We're just gonna warm up that upper spine, sending that arm through and up. That was my back cracking. Yours might do the same here. There's 3. Just getting some length through that chest. 4 and 5. Good. Over to that other side, sending that arm through and up. That was my back cracking on the other side. 2, 3, 4 and 5. Good. You're just gonna sit down into those hips. A little bit of a child's pose here. Walking your hands out and stretching here. Feeling that stretch through the shoulders. Trying to sit down as far as you can, but walking out. So we're moving quickly here because I know you guys don't have a lot of time. We only have 16 minutes to go, or 16 minutes in our day, right? We actually have 12 and a half minutes to go. So we're gonna stretch over to the side and over to the other side. Because you have time to stretch. Get a couple deep breaths in over that first side, over to that second side. Last time over to that side. To the other side. We're gonna get moving a little bit more here just to kind of get you warmed up. We're gonna do 5 squats. Arms are gonna come up overhead and you're gonna sit into that squat. Trying to keep your contact through the heels there, but not worrying too much about where those hips fall. You can actually kind of play with this a little bit to see how that hip joint feels, but those arms come up overhead. I know I said 5, but we're gonna do a couple more here just to figure out how everything is feeling. Good, we're gonna get into some balance stuff now. So the goal here is to really find that ground for the foot. You're gonna bring your right foot up. You're gonna hold that there. You're gonna bring your foot up, so holding it. Then you're gonna go to the side, finding that balance. And now we're going to hinge forward and bring that foot behind you. So going through that again, you're going to come up to the side, and then hinging forward, slight bend in that standing knee and holding that there. Then up to the side, so really grounding down through that standing foot and out to the back. Last time through, you might be tiring out on that leg, that's okay, finding that balance. So front, side, and back. Good. Coming back down, we're gonna switch up those legs now. So really rooting down through that right foot, finding your balance. You might find things switch up over here, that's okay. Finding that balance to the front, to the side, using your arms, and then hinging forward. There's one. Now up, to the side, to the back, and hinging forward. Really finding the corners of your feet. Here's that third one, up, to the side, and through. So if at any point you bobble, you step out, that's fine. You just get right back into it. It's kind of like life, right? We lose our balance, we just get right back into it and to the back. Now that things are feeling a little bit more warmed up, we're gonna add a little bit more of a dynamic move to this. You're going to step back and come through with that knee drive. So stepping back as far as you can, see a little balance loss, that's okay. And through, back, and through. When you step back, I want you to think of finding length through that hip, through the front of that hip, and through, using your arms here because that's what your body does. It looks for balance in everything you do, and up. Two more, stepping back, digging through that standing heel as you come up to standing, back, and through. We're gonna go over to that other side now. So finding that balance is so important. Coming through, stepping back. I want your arms just to flow naturally here. So what you might find is that you need to come this way to keep your balance. That's fine. Whatever feels natural here. I want you to kind of get checked in with what that feels like. So many times we create these exercise rules, right? But if that's not what we naturally do, the 23 hours, for the rest of the 23 hours, then what's the point, okay? Good, last one, and up. We're gonna change this up a little bit too. So now, instead of stepping forward, we're going to lean forward and come back up. So standing tall, planting through that standing foot, lifting a leg, hinging forward, finding that reach, and back up. Finding that reach, and back up. Back out, and back up. Back out, and back up. Last one, out, and up. Switching up those legs. So when I started thinking of this 16-minute series, or these series of 16 minutes, I really just wanted to make sure that if you had a short amount of time, you could get some movement in. So it's not always about killing yourself in a 16-minute high-intensity interval training. It's about moving better so that the rest of your day you feel a little bit better, a little bit more energized, perhaps a little bit more balanced. Oh, good. She did. She threw that in. Good. Over that side. Last one here. Finding that balance and coming through. We're going to do a little bit of core work now. Still moving through balance because I think finding that stability in the shoulder is really important. So what you're going to do, if this feels okay, you're going to either stay up on your arm or you're going to come down to your elbow for a side plank. So always balance here. If you're staying with that full arm, or if you're staying with anything, I want to make sure that you're stacking that shoulder over that wrist. If you're down on your elbow, which is a little bit more stable, same thing, shoulder, but it's going to be over that elbow. So we're going to hold this here. I'm going to hold this up here, finding that balance, pulling through the core, arm comes up here. If this is easy for you, you're going to lift a leg. If that's too much for you, you're going to bring your leg down. But making sure that you're checking in with that shoulder, and that shoulder feels good. Looking up, holding that for 3, for 2, for 1. Now if at any point that was too much, you can always drop down to a knee. Should have said that earlier, but hopefully you're with me there. If anything, hopefully you're on the elbow. So setting this up on the other side, finding that balance, stacking that shoulder over that wrist, and moving into that side balance. So again, lifting that arm, coming down to the elbow, whatever feels good, lifting the leg, getting fancy, a little fancy dancy with this. Good, and breathing, supporting through that side. Good. Good for 3, for 2, for 1. Beautiful. Coming down to the floor. We're gonna start cooling it down a little bit, stretching out a little bit more. So first things first, I want you to just sit, roll those shoulders back, roll those shoulders forward. And we're gonna come into a plank now, but we're gonna lift feet. So maybe not cooling down just yet, maybe a little bit, okay? Finding that plank, shoulders are over those wrists. You're gonna lift one leg, keeping those hips low, finding that balance. You're gonna lift that other leg, feeling that shift through your body, still supporting through the core. Over to that first leg. So I want you to check in with what your body has to do here to keep you afloat, because really that's kind of what it is. It has to shift into those other parts, kind of like in life when we have to shift one way, shift the other. I get so introspective during these videos, you guys. Back to that first one, life lessons with Coach Jess. But it really is about finding that balance, finding that time, finding that space. Good. Back down to your knees. Now we're gonna move into our cool down, our stretching it out. Hopefully you feel a little bit of core work, you feel a little bit more balanced. We're gonna go into the stretching part, okay? So bringing that right foot out, taking a deep breath in. Arms come up, you're going to hinge forward. Just to where this feels good. So if that means here, that's cool. If next week it means here, awesome. 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, wherever you want to take this, know that you have the power to take it as far as you need to, or want to, hopefully want to. Stretching through that, relaxing, switching up those legs. So bring that other leg in front again, maybe this week, next week, week after that. And what you think of hinging down through your sit bones. This is more of a hinge than a roll through. Okay, more of a hinge. Maybe just relaxing your head on your knee, maybe not. Good, coming on up. We're gonna move into those wrists. I know a lot of my clients in the gym, we don't do a lot of wrist work, but I know that their wrists are in pain. So we're gonna address that a little bit today. So you're gonna lean forward so gently. You're just gonna turn your hands over just to where that feels good. You're obviously not putting all your weight on it. You're just gonna turn your hands towards you, and then you're just sitting back. So I know this is gonna look so weird. It always looks so gross when you do that. You're, ew, okay. So just sitting back, feeling that stretch. Now we're gonna take that palm, we're gonna turn it around. I have a lot of musicians that I work with, so violinists, cellists, and their wrists are so delicate, so we have to be really careful with those. So if anything starts to hurt them, I'm like, oh, let's just like maybe ease off of that. But getting some good stretches in there, totally helpful. Good. Our last one here, I'm gonna actually have you come up to standing, similar to kind of what we did in the beginning, but kind of grounding down through the feet and hinging over to the side, making sure that you get kind of some air in those lungs. Over to the other side. And just stretching. Take another deep breath in, arms come up overhead. Hinging forward, sending those hips back. Again, you're gonna kind of let your head fall. So I get my neck gets kind of tight in the back here. So what I try to think is, and especially early in the morning, it's really tight. So with this, I try to aim to be really careful. I just check in with how the back of that neck is falling. As it warms up for the day, it feels better, but just be careful. You're just kind of gonna shake it out, shake it out. Deep breath in, arms come out to the side, and up, and out, and up, and out, and up, and out. Good, so we're just gonna kind of roll those feet out, roll those hips out, roll those hips the other way, roll those wrists out, and then next side to side. Good, deep breath in and out. That is your 16 minutes for the day. We got a little bit of gut balance work. We got a little bit of core work in there too, even though it might not necessarily have felt that. Your core is always stabilizing things, especially when you're standing on one foot. So we're also asking a lot of your central nervous system, your brain. Anytime you kind of put your body in that position of like, oh, I've got to find balance, it's going to find it somewhere. So as always, if you have questions, reach out to me, and I'll be posting new videos. So until then, I will see you.